But we do need approval, there's no question about this. In order to be happy, you need approval. Whose approval do we absolutely have to, must have, need? Our own. Once we've got our own full, unrelenting, 100% approval, do we need anybody else's anyway?
No.
So one thing we can do, that we can learn to do, is approve of ourselves. Yeah? On this road to happiness. Okay. So we've detoxed. We're clean and sober now, but we're not necessarily what you call happy at this point. Usually what happens is, you see, we think, well, I'm realistic enough to know that I'm not going to get all the things on this list, yeah? But I could get this one, you know, and maybe a modest accommodation, yeah? And maybe, you know, a second-hand car, and I can work towards these things. And the next thing that a recovering person does, until they suss it out, is that they get these things that they need on their list to be happy, right? And they're striving towards these things each time. And they say, well, when I get a job, when I've got employment, I'll be happier. When I've got some money in my pocket, I'll be happier. When I get that computer, I'll be happier. When I find someone to love, I'll be happier. When I find somebody else to love, I'll be happier. Yeah? So, and it goes on and on. When I get a better job, I'll be happier. Yeah? And we spend our lives, and this is not just recovering people, this is like 80% of the people out there in society. Yeah? We're ordinary people with a specific problem. That doesn't mean we don't share the same problems and neuroses and dysfunctionalities as everybody else out there who are not addicts. We do. Yeah? So it's not just about people who are recovering. Yeah? But again, it's another trap that we need to be aware of if we're going to get happy. You can't wait until that to get happy, and then wait until that to get happy, and then wait until... Because as you know, it doesn't work, does it? It just doesn't work. So when do we have to get happy? Today. If you can't get happy today, what makes you think you're going to get happy tomorrow? Oh, well, because tomorrow I'll have a partner, I'll have a car, I'll have a house, I'll have a job, I'll have a career. No. Because when you get those things, they won't be good enough anymore. Because you then aim for better things. And that's a good thing. You know, to have goals and aim to achieve and aim to acquire, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That is a really good thing, because that's how we grow. If you don't have any goals, how are you going to grow? What are you going to do? Just sit in your council flat until you retire? Yeah? So we've got to have these goals. But these goals, we link them to being happy. And you see how that can't really work, can it? Because the whole point of having goals and growing is once you've got there, you set another one. And if your happiness is dependent on achieving anything at all in these goals, you can never be happy. You're always waiting to be happy. Yeah?
You want to be happier.
Pardon?
You want to try and be happier.
You want to try and, to get more happiness when you get this thing. And what you usually find is when you get this thing, it's like, well, so what? That was good, wasn't it? What are we going to do now? It is, isn't it? It doesn't.
So that material things just become like a drug then?
Well, it's
The more you get, the more you want.
it can become an addiction, but workaholics, materialistic holics, there's holics on everything. Yeah, we just have to be alcoholics and drugaholics. Yeah? So, we've got to get happy today. Now, this is an important point. You really have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to yourself to get you happy. And you have to do it today. And wait for something to happen. You've got to do it today. Now, what would happen if suddenly we found the magic sort of wand and got all, like, happy today? And we're happy all day. What would happen? Well, we'd be extremely annoying people, wouldn't we? And it's a half-life. Because happiness is in relation to not happy, isn't it? You can't have happiness without being miserable. You can't have joy without pain. Yeah? So, so what are we looking for? We're looking today. We're looking for a life. We're looking to be generally happy. To be generally happy today, in this day, we need to be frightened, angry, a bit depressed, a bit pissed off, happy, have a bit of a laugh, feel some real joy, and we've had a full life today. Yeah? But the bit that gets us is, well, what about the joy and the happiness? How do we do that? And you have a responsibility to yourself as a recovering person to get happy, because you know what? Because one thing worse than a using addict or a drinking alcoholic, it's an addict or an alcoholic who doesn't have any drugs or alcohol. Yeah? So from this point, now we're detoxed, now we're clean and sober, you've got a responsibility to yourself, and a serious responsibility, to learn how to be happy for 10 minutes at least today. If you're aiming to be happy all day, that's not going to work, because that's a half-life. We want the full range of emotions, and we want them every day. Thank you very much. Yeah? So we need to find out how we're going to get happy today. So let's have a look at something that stops us getting happy. What things stop us getting happy?
Thinking negative.
Pardon?
Negativity.
Right, I'm going to draw something. Unfortunately, as you know, my drawing is absolutely pants. So I'll tell you what this thing is. Oh God! Right, and these are wheels. Right, and this is the steering wheel. Right, and this is the bus driver, and then the seats. Okay. Now, we're the bus driver. You're the bus driver. Okay? The bus is your life, and the road you're on is where you're going. What stops us from driving the bus and getting on with our lives? Passengers. Right. We've got this passenger here, for example. This passenger is called Mr. Addiction. Right? Now, do we want addiction? No, we don't want addiction, do we? Get off the fucking boat. Get off. Right? Sod off. And he just said, no, I'm saying. I said, what, Harry? Hang on. But tomorrow, you're off this bus, right? All right, I'll get off tomorrow. Promise. You promise? I promise, right? So you wake up, right, get off the fucking bus. Well, in a bit, because we just have one more, right? Yeah. So how long are we at this bus stop arguing with the passenger addiction? Our lives are going nowhere. We're not driving the bus, we're not living our lives, yeah? So you come to a place like this and you get clean and sober, but are you cured from addiction just because you're clean and sober?
No.
Right, so you're still arguing with Mr. Addiction even though you're clean and sober. So what we've got to do is we've got to say, Mr. Addiction, I accept that you're not getting off this bus. So we have to accept this. Yeah? Going back to the list that we had before. Mr. Approval. Mrs. Career. Miss Partner. Yeah? Until these are good enough, we're not driving our bus. Until we've got them secured and in place, and we're not arguing the acceptance of what is. Because if you cannot accept what is right now today, and accept you and everything around you right now today, you can't be happy today. We must accept this is who we are today. That's not perfect. And this is our life today, and that's not perfect. But the first stage to be happy today is to accept these things. We absolutely have to. Because otherwise, we're spending the day arguing. And we're arguing about the past when they first got on the bus and they shouldn't, and the future, when are you going to get off? Does that helpful? I often use this picture of having the bus. when I'm upset about something and I'm not letting it, somebody once nicked my parking space back of my house, and I was arguing with that bloody passenger for hours and hours and hours spent in misery until I decided to accept, okay, this has happened. And then I got my 10 minutes. So I often use this picture of the bus. It's a very useful thing to use. So basically, we need to get happy. It's not about getting clean and sober if we're just going to stay the way things are. Yeah? You have a responsibility to yourself. And this means self-acceptance, acceptance of the situation. And you've got to do it today. Because if you can't get happy today, what the hell makes you think you'll do it tomorrow? Yeah? Does that make sense?